Hi, I'm Alicia Curry, and I'm here to influence, educate, inspire, and entertain you with Audacious Confidence. Audacious Confidence is the unshakable belief in yourself that's so bold and so daring that you live your life without limits or restrictions. So join me on my show, Unleash Your Audacious Confidence, so we can discover the unknown you. Call in to join the conversation at 888-565-1470. Let's get started. Oh, it's already the last half of March. Oh, I'm not even speaking into the mic. There we go. It's already the last 2 weeks of March. Imagine that. So I have an amazing guest for us tonight. And before I get into that, I just want to let you know that if you are watching on Facebook, thank you so much. You know, I love hearts. I love likes. And I love you to share it. Share it out to everyone. As well as if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel and so you won't miss when we go live or when we have a recording that is set up. And if you are watching on where else? On Periscope. Hi guys on Periscope. Thank you so much for watching. You can also check. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, on Facebook. And you can also check us out, like my page, Alicia Curry Style on Facebook. So let me go ahead and introduce my next guest for today. This is going to be a really exciting show because it's spring. Tomorrow is the spring solstice. Tomorrow is the first day of spring. So this is just perfect timing for him to come along. His name is Colby Jones. And a little bit about Colby. He is born and raised in Colorado. He's very outdoorsy. Ice hockey, camping, snowboarding, etc. He's traveled a lot in his life. Been on over 60 cruises, over 100 countries. Multiple times he's visited the same countries, and he has a thirst for travel. So Mr. Colby Jones, it got into the travel business when he was in college. He wanted to become a pilot, but his rigorous life schedule prevented him from racking up the hours that he needed for his pilot's license. So he switched to his minor, which was business and travel administration. And he decided to buy the travel agency that his mom had started so that they could travel together. How cute is that? And make memories together. And so he bought the travel business from his mom so that he and his son could also make memories together. So that was 13 years ago. And now he is one of the best in the business, in the travel business. And I want to invite Mr. Colby Jones on the show. Hey, Colby.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course. So we're going to talk a little bit today about travel. You know, we're coming up into the summer. We're in spring tomorrow, and we're coming into the summer months. And what better time to get people ready for the travel season? So, first of all, did I miss anything that you wanted to let our listeners and viewers know about yourself before we jump into this?
No, you covered it very well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the introduction.
You're very welcome. So, Colby and I know each other. We're in a group from LinkedIn. Again, I told you LinkedIn is like one of the best platforms that you can have. So Colby and I met. We're in a mastermind group together, and we also do a lot of LinkedIn workshops together. So that's how we know each other for almost I would say like 9 months now. We've known each other. So how does your service for interline cruising, how does your service differ from anyone who just goes online and books a vacation? What do you do that's so specialized?
That's such a great question. This is what we're trying to get out to the world. A lot of people think that booking online is somehow a better way to do it, advantageous via money or information, but it's really not. You're actually going to pay more money if you book a cruise online, I can promise you. I've put people on bets and deals all the time. Give me your best shot. We're going to do better. We have a lot of ways of doing it. One way, initially right off the bat, is booking fees. We don't charge booking fees whatsoever. When you book online, you have to pay a booking fee. There's a reason for it, but booking fees is one. Our contracts and relationships that we have that we've built over the years is another. There's many things that we do to help people.
Oh, that's excellent. And, there's a lot going on with travel, like recently in the news with the pets, getting lost or suffocating, which is so tragic. If you are a pet lover or if you have I know it's horrible, or if you have anxiety about bringing your pet on a trip with you, we have a lot of service animals now. How can someone who has either is traveling with their pet or has a service animal, what is the best way for them to do that?
First, they'd want to, depending on what they're doing, they need to contact us or some professional just to ensure that everything's lined up correctly. The person that you and I happen to know with our weekly calls, I sent her on a cruise, and she brought her service dog along with her. So there were some forms that needed to be filled out, and she could have probably done it on her own, but when it involves an animal, you need to talk to a professional. You really do. So give us a call. We'll walk you through the necessary forms to fill out. It's pretty quick and easy, but that way we can ensure that there won't be any problems.
That's good. Good to know. And so let's get into, that's your anxiety about maybe traveling with a pet or a service animal, but what about your own anxieties? Some people have anxieties with flying or cruising for the first time. Let's tackle flying first, and then we'll go into cruising. So if you have anxieties about flying, how can you give someone peace of mind about the flight experience?
Ambien and alcohol. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of people have different anxieties that come with flying. A lot of it actually has to do with getting through security and TSA. We see that one as one of the biggest things that comes up. It really isn't a major hurdle, but people that are unfamiliar with it can be a little overwhelming at first. So that's one thing. The other one is just the actual flight itself. People are worried about the motion and things of that situation. Honestly, you just kind of have to suck it up and go for it. But really, flying, it's cake. It's the safest way to travel.
It is. And you were studying to be a pilot. I'm a former flight attendant, and it's really not that bad. Flying isn't that bad. You make sure you have what you need for the flight. Make sure you have what you need. If there's something that you need during the course of the flight, put it under your seat in front of you so you don't have to get up and disturb anybody. Don't put it in the overhead bins. And have things like medications or anything that you want quick access to. Keep it close by so that you're not, feeling like, oh, I need this, and you have to keep getting up to get whatever you need.
Absolutely. That's the exact way to do it. I have a backpack. I keep that with me at all times on the flights. Has everything I need in there. Music, food, snacks, whatever I want. I don't have to get up unless it's the restroom.
And bring snacks. Bring stuff, especially if you're traveling with kids. Make sure you bring snacks and bring stuff that they can eat because, flying now, it's not, they don't really provide a lot of meals for you anymore. So you can make sure you have adequate snacks for the kids when you're traveling. All right, let's go on to cruising now, because cruising, I was apprehensive the first time I cruised. I think it was like 4 years ago was the first time I'd ever been on a cruise in my entire life, and I thought I would be like panic stricken on a cruise, but it turned out to be really great. So if you have anxiety about cruising, take us through like some of the best tips that you have to prepare for a cruise, and what are the best cruises to take if you're a newbie?
Okay, that's a loaded one. Let's do it. Let's first start with a newbie. If you're new to cruising, It really depends on who you are and what you're looking for. But a lot of people seem to think that a 3 or 4 or 5 day cruise might be their best option for a first-time cruiser. That's not necessarily correct. It could be, depending on who you are and what you want, but oftentimes those 3 and 4 day cruises are the party cruises.
Uh-huh.
So if you're somebody that doesn't want a big party crowd and the spring break drinking and whatnot, that may not be a good option for you because you're going to have that. So
okay. No 3 or 4 day cruise if it's the first one.
Yeah, probably not. You can still get a good one, but that's typically the crowd they attract because, you know, they're $100 and who doesn't want to get away for $100 and drink a little while? It happens.
Okay.
So that's one. Another big one that people have is seasickness. It's not really much of a thing. It really isn't. You can get the patches behind the ears. Ginger is an amazing natural supplement for seasickness. So if you're worried about seasickness, eat some ginger. You'll be good to go there. But honestly, unless the storms are just chopping up the water, you don't have to worry about seasickness at all. The new ships, they have stabilizers. Everything's fine there. So that's not much of a worry. But packing.
Can I ask you something about the stabilizer thing? And because yes, but are there certain levels that are best to not feel the motion? Is it the higher you go, the worse it is, or the lower you go, the worse it is?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Scientifically, it is the higher and further forward. Those are the worst locations to be. So it's the exact opposite of an airplane. With an airplane, the thrust, you want to be ahead of that, so it's a smoother ride. First class is nice. Coach can be bouncy.
Uh-huh.
Opposite on the cruise ship. Everybody says you need to be midship, which isn't technically wrong. However, scientifically, the very bottom and the very back will get you the smoothest ride.
Bottom back will get you the smoothest ride. That's good to know because the last cruise we took, my kids got a little seasick, and we were a little higher up, closer to the front. So, yeah. So next time we're riding in the back.
Yeah, we'll get you midship. We'll get you aft. If you're midship, it's pretty much the exact same as aft, but forward you can feel it if the seas are churning.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's really good. That's a great tip. That's good to know. So, what was the other question I asked? Because I said, if you're a newbie.
Other tips to prepare for it.
Oh, and how to prepare for it. Right.
Yeah, so you can pack. Know your weather. We'll tell you all this about it. Most people like to do Caribbean for a first-time cruise. Excellent choice. You're going to find that you're going to need more bathing suits than anything else.
Right.
Yeah. So packing's easy. It's light. The cruises are not formal. People really are intimidated by that. Suits and tuxedos and all that. It's kind of a thing of the past.
That's a thing of the past, right?
Yeah. They'll have 2 nights for it, but you don't have to partake, and nobody will think otherwise if you don't. Most don't.
Okay, so like captain's dinner and stuff, it's not that fancy anymore.
Not too fancy. They want you to have fun and be relaxed and enjoy yourself and not feel cramped in a stuffy atmosphere.
Nice. Okay, so the patches work. What about the wristband thingies? Does that help?
They work.
Because that's what my kids use, and they were like, it didn't really work.
For me, I think it's more mind over matter, to be honest with you. But
well, that's how I feel. I feel that too.
Yeah.
But Kevin on Facebook said hypnosis. He said he had a friend that took hypnosis because they suffer from motion sickness, and hypnosis helped.
Oh, see, that's a good one there. I've not known anybody who's had hypnosis.
Right. So
Thanks,
Kevin says hypnosis. And he also does hypnosis for people. So that's great. So let's move on to types of time. What are the best times for cruises, like Caribbean cruises or Mediterranean cruises? What are the best times of the year to take different types of cruises?
That's an excellent question. It's one we actually get asked all the time. Caribbean, the great thing about the Caribbean is there's never really a bad time to go. There are different pros and cons associated with each time of year, but never a really bad time. So the neat thing is the water temperature. The gradient's only going to be about 10 degrees the entire year. So the lowest it'll get is into the low 70s. The highest can get into the upper 80s. It's going to be amazing the entire time. Now, the further north you get up towards Puerto Rico and then closer towards the U.S., the water will get a little bit warmer and also a little bit colder. But aside from that, not a big deal. Now, hurricanes come through, as we all know, or if you don't know, you should. That's August through November. So hurricane season comes through there. Typically, the big ones churn up in September, and they start to fade and dissipate as the year goes by. So you can get some really good deals if you go Caribbean late fall. If that just terrifies you, then shoot for a January or February time. It's still going to be nice and warm. The water's going to be fantastic, and you don't have any weather to worry about.
So the water isn't choppier in the wintertime?
Not too much. Depending on which itinerary you hit, the Atlantic side can be a little bit bigger. Sometimes the Bahamas will have that. Normally, though, it's going to be pretty pleasant wherever you are. Southern Caribbean and some of my personal favorites, but it's
all
good
right.
water everywhere.
So Southern Caribbean in the wintertime is great. And then if you're traveling during hurricane season, make sure you get insurance, right? Make sure you cover your trip with insurance.
Cover your trip at all times with insurance. You never know what's going to happen. I've seen the weirdest things occurred with people, and it doesn't matter how healthy, strong, or fit you are. It could be somebody in the family that has a circumstance and you need to cancel. So get the insurance. It's super cheap. If there is a hurricane, typically the cruise lines will cover you anyway. But if you're on an island or something, just doing an all-inclusive, and a hurricane blasts you, insurance.
Get insurance. All right. You mentioned all-inclusive. So what, and I'm going to come back to the other question because we didn't finish that yet, what times and what cruises are best. I didn't forget. But since you just mentioned all-inclusives, what are the kind of like the best all-inclusive for families and for couples vacations?
The best ones are the cheapest ones.
The cheapest ones. And what does all-inclusive really mean?
All-inclusive, that's where you've got your resort. So they have different variances, but the resorts are going to cover everything. So you'll have your lodging at the resort, your hotel room. You're going to have all of your alcohol and drinks included. If you don't drink alcohol, you're going to have all the nice, fun umbrella drinks with fruits and everything in that. You'll have those. You can have all of your meals comped and included as well. So it really is all-inclusive. You could do your entire stay there and not pay anything if you really wanted to.
Good.
That's the all-inclusive. The best ones, gosh, there's a lot of good ones out there. I don't know if I can.
Give me your top three.
Ooh, I don't want to get in trouble here.
I know. I'm putting you on the spot. Well, top three destinations then. If you don't want to single out because you have to work with all these people, give me the top three destinations for all-inclusive.
Yeah, thanks for saving me on that one. Top three destinations for all-inclusives. I'll give you the top three of my personal favorites, and then I'll give you kind of the top three of what a lot of people do.
Okay.
So what a lot of people do, top three, Mexico is probably the most popular, especially for people here in Colorado. I don't know why they love Mexico. Not that it's bad, but everybody from Colorado goes to Mexico.
Goes to Mexico. Okay.
So Mexico, yeah, Riviera Maya, anywhere down in that area is a great spot. The all-inclusives are great. There's been some bad press about them, so we'd obviously want to ensure that we're working with the right companies. But that's a great one. Number two, probably Punta Cana. Everybody's going there right now. Next biggest hotspot. They love us over there. It's really nice, super safe. Definitely a favorite. And then third, always, is the steady Jamaica. Everybody goes to Jamaica for an all-inclusive.
Okay.
They do it right over there, yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, not bad. My personal favorites, I'd probably put one somewhere down in the BVI, somewhere down there. Maybe St. John's. Get into St. John. I really like it over there. Yeah, good snorkeling, good weather, good people. Yeah, you can do that. Punta Cana is also a favorite of mine as well.
Nice.
It's just so neat. Yeah, it's just so neat.
So now we're going to flip back to you were talking about best cruises, best times of the year to take what? So we covered the Caribbean. Let's talk about the West Coast and then Europe. What's the best times?
Sure.
And Alaska.
And Alaska. Europe is very seasonal, just like Alaska. So the cruises are going to be there predominantly. Well, Alaska is only May through September, and that's predominantly when you can do a European cruise as well. It's also the recommended time. But Europe, the season extends further into the fall. So you can still go September, October, and you can get an amazing deal. A lot of people like to go fall. The weather is cooler. It gets really hot over there sometimes. Yeah, the Med can get pretty hot, but it's beautiful. Kids are out of school, so those are the dominant destinations. If you wanted to specific, I would say Alaska. July is the most popular. It's also the most expensive. Shoot for early June or late August if you can. If you can pull the kids out of school, you'll get a better value.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the other one? I'm already.
The West Coast, like Hawaii, California.
Yeah. Hawaii is a good time all year round. I like to go in the fall and October. Yes, the hurricanes, but they're really not a big deal. They really aren't. Just last year was making up for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
West Coast, yeah. Other than that, just don't go when it's going to be real windy, because that's the only thing that you get on the West Coast is windy.
A lot of wind.
Nobody
the
likes
Santa Anas.
Yeah, nobody likes a windy cruise.
Right.
I want a nice cruise.
Blown off the ship.
Yeah. We'll let somebody else do that.
So, you talked about the best deals. So when is the best time, like lead time, to book a cruise, number one, that you get the best price? Is it closer towards the cruise or earlier? When do you get the best deal?
It's another very good question, and I wish I could give you a straight answer on it, but it really depends. It really does. So I'll give you some examples of how. Let's look at Alaska first. So Alaska, most people book Alaska in January, February, and March. If you really want to get a better rate, book it in November or December of the year prior. So if you're looking for Alaska of 2018, you're probably going to get the best rate if you booked it in November or December of 2017. Caribbean. If you want to do Caribbean, wait 60 days out, maybe 75 days out, somewhere right in that time frame. I'll get you a way better price than you would have had you booked it further in advance. So it just kind of varies by where you're going and the time of year you're going to. If you do anything over a major holiday, like New Year's, Christmas, example, book that as far out in advance as you possibly can, years out, because that's just going to go up in price. It will never go down.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Special occasions never go down. So, yeah, nope, they have that on lockdown. So,
yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, where is your favorite destination?
That's a good question because I have several.
Yeah.
It depends what mood I'm in. I love the history that they have in China. Mm-hmm. So I really like going to China, Xi'an, seeing the Terracotta Warriors.
Do they have cruises over there?
They do.
So you could.
They have cruises everywhere.
Wait, I lost you.
China.
Say that again.
They do have cruises in China. They have cruises everywhere.
You can cruise anywhere and everywhere.
Cruise anywhere and everywhere, absolutely. So China is one of my favorites for the history. I really love Greece, Santorini, Mykonos, Kusadasi, anywhere just right in there. Greece, Turkey, it's beautiful. And then you always have to have Hawaii.
And then always Hawaii. Nice.
Who doesn't like a nice Hawaiian vacation?
I know. I was there the last time I was in Hawaii. I was a young girl, so I haven't been back, but it's on my list to go back and take my kids. But speaking of kids, what is the best cruise to take a kid on? I know we talked a little bit about Disney cruising, and you kind of told me that there are options or alternatives. But what in your professional opinion is the best cruise to take a kid on?
Disney's fantastic, but you're going to pay for it. Whereas if you did somebody like a Royal Caribbean, one of their bigger ships or one of the new NCL ships, the kids will have pretty much equally as good of a time, and you're going to save 50% of the money. So I would, for any budget-conscious person, I would recommend we look at Royal Caribbean and NCL, maybe a Carnival if it's one of their newer, better ships. That's probably your best way to go. Sorry, Disney.
No, I mean, listen, Disney is not cheap, and they draw a crowd for a reason. They are a premium, they're premium cruise line, so they can charge what they can charge because people will pay for it. So,
yep.
But it's excellent service, excellent entertainment, and everything. So you can't go wrong if you want to spend the money for a Disney cruise. You can't go wrong.
Yep,
do they have special deals? Very rarely.
I'm sorry?
Do they have special deals? Do you see special deals coming up with them? Or is that very rare?
It comes through, yeah. They absolutely come through. And our interline rates, those come through all the time. So that's any airline person listening, they'll know what that is. If you're not, don't worry about it. But
Okay.
yes, they.
So what does you said interline. So what does that name interline mean?
Interline is the term for people that work within various industries that we have relations and special contracts with that allow them to exhibit extra discounts on top of what's normally available. So anybody that works for an airline, FAA, FedEx, UPS, anything kind of air related, I have special pricing.
All right. So how can people get a hold of you, Colby, if they want to book a vacation coming up for the summer?
Well, that would be fantastic. If they do, they can give us a call toll free at 800-654-3827. They can also find us on Facebook, Interline Cruise Connections. That's our name. You can find me on LinkedIn, Colby Jones. Website, interlinecruiseconnections.com. We're all over the place.
All right. So Interline Cruise Connections. And I will have a link to you on my website as well so that they can link to you if they want to get in touch with you. He is one of the best. If you want to book any kind of vacation around the world, Colby will have your back, and he will get you the best price possible, even better than you can find online, and he will guarantee that. Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, this is really a pleasure. Colby is going to launch a podcast soon, so congratulations with that, Colby, and all the wonderful things you're doing. And his business is just exploding, so you better catch him now before he just explodes and then you can't reach him. And then you'll be calling me and saying, I can't get a hold of Colby. So I'll give you his private number if that happens. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Colby, for being my guest. And I will see you guys again next week. I'm going to have a really phenomenal guest, so make sure you tune in and share it with your friends. I'll see you. Have a great week, everyone. Love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye. Stay safe out there. A wise friend always says to me, we have a finite number of minutes to spend. And just like you can only spend $1 once, you can only spend 1 minute once. It's your choice. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing to spend some of your minutes with me on my show. I wish you love, health, and happiness to live your life with audacious confidence. I love you, and we'll see you next time.